I was reviewing the photographer's contract for our engagement photos, scheduled for next Saturday and already paid in full, when her phone buzzed on the bathroom counter and I saw her ex's name with a message saying, "Can't stop thinking about you." Saturday night changed everything for me. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. It was early March in San Diego, California, one of those weeks where the jacaranda trees were just starting to bloom and the weather sat at a perfect 72 degrees. I'm 35, work as a logistics coordinator for a shipping company based at the port. Organized work, tracking containers, managing schedules, ensuring documentation matches reality. You learn to verify everything twice, trust the paperwork, and act when something doesn't add up. Heather is 31, works as a physical therapist at a sports medicine clinic in La Jolla. Athletic, outgoing, always training for some race or organizing group hikes on the weekends. We'd been together for 3 years, engaged for 4 months, and living in a one-bedroom apartment in North Park for the past year and a half. The wedding was set for October, venue booked, invitations designed, everything moving forward on schedule. That Sunday afternoon, I was sitting at our kitchen table going through wedding vendor contracts, making sure all our deadlines were documented. Heather had gone for a run and then hopped in the shower. Her phone was on the bathroom counter, and I was reviewing the engagement photo package we'd booked, $1,200, already paid, photos scheduled for next Saturday at Balboa Park. I heard the shower running, heard Heather humming something upbeat. Then her phone buzzed loud enough that I could hear it from the kitchen. Once, twice, 3 times in quick succession. I wasn't trying to snoop. But the bathroom door was open. The phone was sitting right there on the counter 5 feet from where I sat. And when it lit up, I could see the screen clearly. 3 text messages from a contact saved as Adrian M. Adrian Morris, Heather's ex-boyfriend from her mid-20s. They dated for almost 2 years when they both lived in Los Angeles before she moved to San Diego for her current job. That had been about 4 years ago, right before we met. She'd mentioned him maybe 3 times total. Once when his name popped up on a Facebook memory. Another time when we drove through LA and she pointed out a gym where they used to work out together. Ancient history, she'd always said. Completely done. The messages were visible in the preview. Can't stop thinking about you. Saturday night changed everything for me. When can I see you again? I sat there reading them. Then I picked up my phone and took a photo of her screen from where I sat. Not unlocking it, not accessing anything, just documenting what was publicly displayed. The shower turned off. I heard Heather moving around in the bathroom. I set my phone down and went back to reviewing contracts. She came out a few minutes later in her robe, hair wrapped in a towel, grabbed her phone from the counter without looking at it, and went into the bedroom to get dressed. I sat at the table and thought very carefully about what I'd just seen. Saturday night. Yesterday, Heather had told me she was going to a continuing education workshop in LA, something about advanced manual therapy techniques. She'd left Saturday morning, said she'd be back late that night. She'd gotten home around 11, tired, said the workshop had run long. I pulled out my phone and looked at my calendar. Next Saturday, March 11th, was our engagement photo session. We'd booked a photographer named Rachel Chun, $1,200 for a 3-hour shoot at Balboa Park with edited digital files delivered within 2 weeks. I'd paid the deposit of $500 in January. The balance of $700 was due the day of the shoot. Heather came out of the bedroom dressed in leggings and a tank top, looking refreshed from her run and shower. "What do you want to do for dinner?" she asked, opening the fridge. "Whatever you're in the mood for," I said. "I'm thinking maybe we could try that new Poke place in Hillcrest." "Sure." She grabbed her phone and started scrolling. I watched her face. She saw the messages. I could tell by the slight change in her expression, the way her thumb moved quickly across the screen. Then she set the phone down casually. "Let me just change into something besides workout clothes," she said. She went back to the bedroom. I heard her moving around, heard the closet door open and close. I opened my laptop and pulled up our shared wedding planning folder. The photographer contract was there. I read through it again, paying attention to the cancellation clause. Deposits non-refundable, but if canceled more than 14 days before the session date, the remaining balance would be waived. Our shoot was scheduled for March 11th. Today was March 5th. 6 days. I was inside the 14-day window. I also pulled up our apartment lease. Both names on it. running through May 31st. 2 months remaining. There was a standard early termination clause. Either party could break the lease with 60 days notice and payment of 1 month's rent as a penalty. Our monthly rent was $1,800. Next, I opened our joint checking account, the one we'd set up for shared expenses and wedding costs. Current balance, $9,300. My contributions over the past year totaled roughly $11,000. Heather's contributions totaled about $8,000, though she'd been less consistent with deposits lately. I sat there mapping out the financial landscape the same way I'd map out a shipping schedule at work. Clear timelines, clear costs, clear decision points. Heather came back out dressed in jeans and a casual top. We drove to the Poke place, ordered food, ate on their outdoor patio. She talked about her week at the clinic, mentioned a patient who was recovering really well from a knee surgery. Normal conversation. She seemed relaxed, happy even. "Oh, I meant to tell you," she said between bites. "I might need to do another workshop in LA next month. My supervisor is really pushing the advanced cert program." "Another workshop," I said. "Yeah, it's a whole series, apparently. I didn't realize when I signed up for the first one. When's the next one?" "Probably mid-April. I'll know more next week." "Got it." We finished dinner and drove home. That evening, Heather settled on the couch with her laptop to watch some show. I went to the bedroom and started going through my clothes systematically, mentally cataloging what was mine, what we'd bought together, what I'd need to pack when the time came. Monday morning after Heather left for work, I sat down with my phone and started making calls. First call was to Rachel Chun, the photographer. "Hi Rachel, this is Eric Thompson. Heather Walsh and I have engagement photos scheduled with you for next Saturday, March 11th. "Yes, Eric. I'm looking forward to it. Balboa Park should be beautiful this time of year. I need to cancel." A pause. "Oh no. Is everything all right?" "Personal circumstances have changed." "What's the process for cancellation?" "Well, let me check your contract. You paid a $500 deposit in January, and the remaining $700 is due at the session. Since you're canceling within 14 days of the shoot, the deposit is non-refundable per our agreement, but you won't owe the balance." "I understand. I'm confirming the cancellation. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I'll send you a cancellation confirmation by email." "Thank you, Rachel." Next, I called our wedding venue, a winery in Temecula we'd booked for October. I'd put down a $2,000 deposit in January. The contract was clear: full refund if canceled more than 6 months before the event date. Our wedding was October 14th. Today was March 6th. That was more than 7 months. Well within the window. Temecula Vista Winery, this is Carmen. "Hi Carmen, this is Eric Thompson. Heather Walsh and I have a wedding booked for October 14th. "Yes, Mr. Thompson. How can I help you?" "I need to cancel the booking." "I'm very sorry to hear that. Let me pull up your file." Keyboard sounds. "Your deposit was $2,000. Since you're canceling more than 6 months out, you're eligible for a full refund minus our administrative fee of $150. "What do you need from me?" "Written cancellation request from both parties on the contract. Once we have both confirmations, we'll process the refund within 20 business days. "I'll send mine today." I drafted the email immediately and sent it with my electronic signature. Then I opened a new document and started researching apartments. Found a studio in Golden Hill, different neighborhood entirely, closer to my office at the port. Available April 1st. Rent was $1,300 a month, $500 less than my half of our current place. I sent an inquiry email to the landlord. Monday afternoon, I got a response. The apartment was still available. Could I view it today? I left work early and drove over at 4. The place was small but clean, good light, parking space included, and it felt right. I filled out the application on the spot. The landlord called Tuesday morning. Application approved. First month and security deposit is $2,600 total. I can have that to you by Thursday. Perfect. Lease is ready whenever you are. I transferred the money Wednesday and signed the lease electronically. Move-in date, April 1st. Wednesday evening, Heather came home excited about something. She'd been selected to present a case study at a regional PT conference in May, she said. Big honor, good for her career. That's great, I said. Where's the conference? Los Angeles. 2-day thing, overnight stay. Los Angeles again. She looked at me. It's where the conference is, Eric. I can't exactly change that. Just noting the pattern. What pattern? Nothing. Congrats on the presentation. She studied my face for a moment like she was trying to figure out if I was being sarcastic. Then she shrugged and went to change clothes. Thursday, I called our apartment management company. Pacific Heights Rentals, this is Martin. Hi Martin, this is Eric Thompson, Unit 2B. I need to invoke the early termination clause on our lease. Oh, sorry to hear that. When are you looking to move out? May 31st, when the lease ends normally. But I'm giving you notice now, and I understand there's a 1-month rent penalty. That's correct. $1,800, and we'll need that within 10 days of your written notice. I'll send the written notice today and transfer the penalty fee by Monday. Sounds good. We'll process everything and release you from the lease effective May 31st. I sent the formal notice that afternoon and scheduled the transfer for Monday. Friday evening, Heather was on her phone more than usual, smiling at the screen, typing quick responses, that same distracted energy I'd noticed Sunday. We ordered Indian food for delivery, something different from our usual routine. While we were eating, her phone buzzed and she glanced at it quickly before flipping it face down. Adrian, I asked casually. She froze, fork halfway to her mouth. What? Is that Adrian texting you? How do you? She caught herself. Why would you think that? I saw the messages Sunday. Your phone was on the bathroom counter. 3 texts from Adrian M. Something about Saturday night changing everything. The color drained from her face. Want to tell me about it? I asked, keeping my voice level. She set her fork down. It's not what you think. What do I think? That something's going on with Adrian. Nothing's going on. Then what was Saturday night? She looked down at her plate. He was at the workshop. The PT workshop in LA. I didn't know he'd be there. We ran into each other. And then we got coffee after. Caught up. That's all. Coffee that changed everything for him. That's him being dramatic. We just talked. As friends. Friends who you didn't mention to me. Friends whose texts you hide. Because I knew you'd react like this. Like someone who expects honesty from their fiancé. Like someone who's jealous and controlling. I sat back. I'm not jealous, Heather. I'm finished. What does that mean? It means I canceled the engagement photos. I canceled the wedding venue. I signed a lease on a new apartment. I'm moving out end of May. She stared at me. You did what? You heard me. Eric, you can't just. I already did. The photographer confirmed the cancellation Monday. The venue sent me the refund paperwork Tuesday. My new lease is signed. I paid the early termination penalty on this place today. Over coffee with an ex. Over you lying to me about seeing him. Over you hiding texts. Over you planning another LA trip next month to see him again. That's a real workshop. Maybe it is. Maybe he'll be there too. Either way, I'm not sticking around to find out. She started crying. Nothing happened with Adrian. I swear. Okay. That's all you have to say. What else is there? You either lied about seeing him, or you're lying now about nothing happening. Either way, I can't trust you. We've been together 3 years. And you just threw that away for coffee with your ex. She cycled through everything over the next hour. Minimization. It was just innocent catching up. Blame. I was overreacting to normal professional networking. Anger. How dare I cancel the wedding without discussing it? Tears. She couldn't believe I'd give up on us so easily. I didn't engage. Just kept stating facts. The wedding was canceled. I was moving out. We were done. Finally, she grabbed her phone and keys. I'm going to stay at Jessica's tonight. We'll talk when you're ready to be rational. She left. I heard her car start, heard her drive away. I spent that weekend packing methodically. Only my belongings, clothes, books, kitchen equipment I'd brought into the relationship, my furniture from before we moved in together. I rented a storage unit Saturday and moved the first load. The contact attempts started the following week. Tuesday, unknown number. Eric, it's Adrian. Heather gave me your number. I want you to know nothing inappropriate happened between us. We're just old colleagues reconnecting. I think you're making a mistake. I blocked the number without responding. Wednesday, Heather's best friend Monica called. Eric, Heather is a mess. Can you please just talk to her? Hi, Monica. We've talked. I've made my decision. Over one coffee with an ex? That seems extreme. Over lying about it and hiding it. That's not extreme. That's self-preservation. She loves you. Then she should have been honest with me. Thursday, long email from Heather. Subject, please just read this. She explained that Adrian had been reaching out for months, that she'd been responding occasionally, but always kept it professional, that seeing him at the workshop had stirred up old feelings she didn't know how to handle, that nothing physical had happened, but she understood why I felt betrayed, that she wanted to go to counseling and fix things. I read it once, then set up a filter to archive her emails. Over the next 6 weeks, I moved out in stages. By late April, the apartment looked noticeably emptier, but still functional. Heather and I communicated only about logistics, bills, mail, the final move-out schedule. April 1st, I moved into my Golden Hill studio. Small, quiet, completely mine. I set up my furniture, established new routines, started biking to work along the harbor. The simplicity felt right. Mid-May, I heard through mutual friends that Adrian had apparently been seeing multiple women, including Heather. When she'd pushed for clarity about their relationship, he'd told her he wasn't looking for anything serious, and that he thought she understood that. The embarrassment of losing both relationships, ours and whatever she thought she had with him, hit her hard. I felt no satisfaction hearing this, just confirmation. Late May, I was at a farmer's market in Little Italy, looking at fresh produce, when I heard my name. Eric. I turned. Heather was standing there with a canvas bag, looking thinner than I remembered. Her hair was pulled back, minimal makeup. She looked tired. Hey. Hi. I didn't expect to see you here. I come most Saturdays. How are you? I'm okay. Busy with work. That's good. Awkward pause. Then she said, I heard about Adrian. About the other women. I heard something about that. I was stupid. I had something real with you, and I destroyed it for someone who was never serious about me. I'm sorry that happened. Are you? Yeah. I didn't want you to get hurt. I just didn't want to be the collateral damage while you figured it out. She nodded slowly. That's fair. More than fair. Pause. Is there any possibility we could try again? No, Heather. I figured. She wiped at her eyes. You seem good. Happy. I am. I'm glad. You deserve that. She shifted her bag. Take care of yourself, Eric. You too. She walked away toward the produce stands. I watched her go for a moment, then turned back to the vendor I'd been talking with and bought some heirloom tomatoes and fresh basil. The market was crowded with weekend energy. I walked through the stalls with my small bag of purchases, completely at ease, completely present. Everything around me was chosen deliberately. The neighborhood, the apartment, the Saturday morning routine. I drove home to my studio, made myself lunch with the tomatoes and basil, and sat by the window watching the Golden Hill neighborhood move through its weekend rhythm. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt whole. When someone reconnects with their ex behind your back and you catch them before it goes further, do you stay and try to rebuild trust, or do you recognize that the deception itself is the deal breaker? Let me know your take in the comments.